Okay, that's project one. Let's do a couple things here. Let's see if we can get that close to the project. Where my leg is not whacking into the tripod, left, right, and center. Yeah, it's not bad from my perspective. Good. Fantastic. Let's go. There's nothing for it. There's no setup. There's no nothing. Oh yeah, I wanted to test the switch. Switch. Where the hell did I hide the switch? There's the switch. That is the switch? Yes, that should be the switch. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna work. No, that's a piece of wire. There's the switch. Wow, that is like iron. Wow. No, I don't think that's going to work. I was kind of hoping that that switch would still be flexible, but that kind of a testament to how mighty that cotton is. I'm impressed, honestly. Very impressed. There's some iron material right there. These are some weak scissors. Alright, that is still doable while still keeping that switch pretty occluded, so I'm very pleased with that. In fact, if I kept the thing like that, you'd probably never see it at all. No problem, even though the switch is right here. Since this is the prototype, all future switches will be on the underside of the unit, but this is why we prototype before we make a tutorial. Otherwise, you're sitting there going, this is the ultimate way to do it with an exposed switch and an exposed battery cover. That's how you do it. Oh, yeah. You know, if you swish a piece of wood stain 72 times, it's good luck. There, that was precisely 72 times. Nobody bothered to count. I'd love to stream on Facebook as well, but unfortunately that's a paid service through the system I'm using, and quite frankly I don't make enough on this pumpkining thing here to really dump $30 in a month into it. It would not generate that coming back out of it to nullify its cost, so I won't be doing that. In another couple of days, I hope to start doing this on the Twitch streaming service under their creative channel. So look for that. I think their system is a little bit better for notifications. Which brush? I'm going to use this soft bristled one. I like this better. I think I brought my other brush conglomeration in from the living room. Yeah, but a softer bristled brush really holds the stain better. I'm trying to get it a little drier. There we Yeah, close enough. I am stoked to see how this comes out. This should be absolutely magnificent. Let's start on that skull and see what it turns into. There's a few other tricks that you can do to narrow down and or amplify the design. Furball was just trying to stop it on a dime on a tile floor, and that does not work. But it's always fun to watch. That's not bad. Enough of a hint of a design. Let's get twisted. Really starting to just love the use of wood stain on this. I might try some effects on a pumpkin at some point. I know I do want to try this effect on a lighted skull. Big time. Put a couple of green-backed LED ping pong balls in the skull's eyes and just go absolute woodsy on the skull's surface. I think that'll be absolutely magnificent. Let's zoom in here for just take a look at the branch texture on that. I'm very pleased. Very, very, very pleased. Considering I got this thing of stain for $1, this is amazing value going on right here. Super amazing value. Kind of wonder what the price point of the whole project is. You're probably looking at a free bottle. Anybody can get a wine bottle from just about anywhere, any recycling place. Go in and ask. Wine bottles should be easy to come by. But let's assume you bought something and drank it. You can get some cheapo stuff for $7-8, depending on where you go. You could even use a plastic bottle for this. I had somebody comment, could you use a plastic bottle for it? Absolutely. You could, it doesn't even have to be a wine bottle type affair. You could use a jar type bottle, like a mason jar or a pasta sauce jar. Any structure. Any structure that will hold the liquid, really. Let's watch that spot. That's one thing I didn't really do, is I didn't put a lot of upward shooting cottony bits from the bottom. I don't think that's going to bite me in the butt too much on this, because the branch is going to distract a lot from any other looks to this. But another worry I had with this project was that if you made a whole bunch of these, they're going to have to be stored in a temperature controlled area. If you left them out in wintertime in the garage, this water would freeze. It could fill up the bottle completely and shatter, and then you're out of luck apart from painting the inside of the bottle and throwing a light source in there. I was thinking of ways to combat this. You could possibly get some, what is it? My brain wants to show ethylene glycol, but it's not. It's propylene glycol. And you can mix that in with the water. It's clear, and it gives an antifreeze capacity. And that way you could store these things right out in the garage over winter if you did that. They'd be rated to 3540 below Fahrenheit scale. If you're wondering what the Celsius conversion is on that, that's what Google's for. I live in one of those stupid countries, of which there's only like 2 left in the entire world, that doesn't use metric. Which I think is rather foolish. But, oh well. I'm used to it, so everybody else clearly has to adapt to me. Kind of hoping if I stream a little bit earlier on a Saturday, people will have time if they want to tune in to see it. I think I'm starting around 10 p.m. this evening in the hopes that more folks will be available. I gotta find a better system to announce that the stream is starting, because YouTube is doing an absolutely terrible job of it. Don't know if I should look on Facebook for some sort of stream is starting announcement area. Just don't know. Man, this painting's going quick. You know what that means? I missed a lot of spots. That's what rapid painting usually comes to. Whole honey bunches of missing spots. Missing spots will come up when I invert this thing and stare at it from the sides and the upside down. God, it looks great though. It's so rotted and branchy. Ah, it's perfect. Perfect. That's why I want to do this to a skull. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be a little bit more painting intensive, but it's going to be magnificent. I have some UV reactive paint that is otherwise more or less invisible in normal light, which I would love to put some witchy glyphs all over the branches. Find a way so they only sporadically get hit with the UV on the haunt, and the witchy glyphs are kind of revealed and then faded and revealed and faded. But that is an idea for another time. Woo! Love it. This is a lot easier than a pumpkin, I'll tell you that. Pumpkins can take some time. This is 2 nights, 3 nights. Yeah. 3 nights. Bottle and wiring. Less if you use a very light string. Bottle and wiring, and that includes the base, the batteries, the switch, whatever system, and then goobering and branch making, a couple hours. During the bottling and wiring phase, you can make your solution to fill the bottle with. If you use water and food coloring, it's disgustingly easy. I've still been thinking of the agitator idea for the pearlescent glitter effect. Got a lot of thoughts. The downside of it is it simply comes down to time, effort, and requirements. It's one of those, you might make 1, maybe 2, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it to make 15, 20, 30 of them. Granted, if I came up with a good method, I could feasibly put something on eBay or Etsy or something like that, but the damn things would be selling for just ridiculous prices. That's why I advocate DIY so very much in all my videos. And why folks who always send me messages asking, hey, do you sell them, are always disappointed. No, I don't. Make your own, I showed you how. It doesn't take much, and it's usually super cheap. Which was making me go back to thinking about how I started on my little tangent. Cost on this thing. So, bottle free, bag of cotton balls. Oh, what? $2, $3? I'd certainly say not more than $4. The cheapo lighting solution, which I used here, is 2 ping pong balls, 4 lights, a switch. Combined cost, not more than $4. There's no way an individual set of all that costs me more than $4. Switches are cheap, battery holders are cheap, LED lights are dirt cheap. My new kick is I don't use anything anymore that isn't, AA batteries or something I can buy in virtually any store. We used to use the tiny coin batteries, little lithium things. They're like C2034 something batteries, but you can't get those everywhere. You have to order them before Halloween. If anything goes wrong with them, it's a pain. And eventually just said, no, if I can't buy it in the store, I ain't using it for power. So we are going much more AA, AAA for our haunt, 100%. Thirsty. Okay. It's one of my all-time favorite stages. Close enough. Just give it a little look here without getting my hands too yucky. That is just beautiful. Just beautiful because it's horrible. Let's get that skull a little bit. Yeah. Now let's kill some lights. Turn it on. That is a candy table topper right there. Little glow from the bottom. Just enough light that on Halloween night it'll be visible. Let's get a little more close up on that. Let's give that also a little mix up inside. Cool. Alright. Yeah, total working time for this project, maybe about 4 hours, honestly, altogether. Hour for the light source and fluid. Less if you're using fairy lights. 2 hours to goop it. And how long have I been on here? I don't know, 34 minutes to give it a stain. Another 10 minutes for a touch-up. Rapid fire project. Very rapid fire project, which looks gorgeous. I love it. Okay. Now I gotta put it somewhere to dry that the cats won't get into. Don't know why I'm bothering. This brush is going to have to go into paint thinner to get the stain out. But I feel better if I wash off a brush. I almost see the stain agglutinating in the brush fibers. It's going to be in paint thinner long before it becomes a problem anyway, so we're fine. Right, that is AAA batteries. With my fan on, I can also put on a little spooky brew. And then I'm going to finish skinning that pumpkin. I need watered down paste for this. Velcro goes back in the Velcro box. Everybody remember where we put the Velcro. Hoping up there I won't forget it, and if I thump anything it'll fall on my head and remind me again. Brushes. Screwdriver. Skinning fluid. Pumpkin light. Sans batteries, which needs more batteries. No, not doing that online. There's no point. Okay. So stem, back butt, fold back, close. Always gonna be flowers stuck at the bottom of this stuff. Yeah, why not? fixed. Skin going. Well, I think my recommendation for this video is going to be watch the first 30 minutes and then go about your life. Because skinning a pumpkin is not the most glamorous of tasks to watch on a stream. I've got one more bottle to do, but I gotta pour this orange crud out. I'm gonna go to the store and get some food color packets. Oh, God. There we go. With this pumpkin skinned, we'll finish sealing it and its brother here. Get them painted and get them down to the garage. Where they will stop taking up space and be amazing. Trying to generate some texture with the skin here. Just previously on this pumpkin, I kind of screwed up. I made the skin very just flat to the surface. And as far as a paintbrush is concerned, that is just boring. You need to generate some crinkle and some wrinkle. in order to have some texture to bring out. So that was gonna happen. This boy may need to be up against a wall on Halloween night. No, I'm going to keep it that way. At least for the top of the eye. Kind of wonder if there's anywhere else where that little cotton ball texture would look good. Maybe in the corners of the mouth. I really like the face melty effect though. I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan of cotton goobers. They add a lot of sinister dimension to a pumpkin. Tiny piece here. Do I have any tiny areas that need a tiny piece? Yes. Yes, I do. Great. Done. One day I'll have a chat. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of this stem. Should have made this stem a lot more interesting. Told myself I didn't want to do crazy stems because they just get overly complicated and they start to break. But as much as I might not want to do crazy stems, I don't want boring stems either. You can do functional without going boring. And this stem is boring. Nice. Nice. Quick, balance on your face. That's something I don't ever want to hear outside of a pumpkin. I have a feeling the next live stream where I do some varnishing, I will show the difference between a beach ball design pumpkin and a bag design pumpkin. This one's a bag, this one's a beach ball. You guys couldn't see that. This one's a bag, this one's a beach ball. This back one, beach ball, bag. Growing to be a bigger and bigger fan of the bag style. Hey, let's try another experiment. Let's take a white paper towel here. It's in the back. Nobody's going to see it. What happens when I use you? White paper towel. This is giving me ideas. No, this is giving me ideas. Oh dear. Alright, well, Goober Face here is probably going to be one of the most experimental pumpkins I have done in a long time. Okay. And I may have found a way to improve the effects for the bottle project as well. Okay. Come here, Gooberface. Give me that boring stem. Give me some white paper towel. Give me some bottled lemonade. Give me another bottle to use, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Whoop. Oh. Come here. Give me a diagonal. Never mind. I wanted a diagonal tear, but this thing didn't want to oblige. Let's experiment with just a piece like this. And then let's twist it. And there is a very similar strand to the cotton without the annoyance of fluffing the cotton. And all I'm doing so far is just laying them onto the raised ridges that I normally use for the things. It's going to look weird and kind of dopey funky, but this is just all experimental. And again, how many times do I have to tell myself, not necessarily any of you, but on Halloween night, nobody cares. They're just happy to see a nice display. Alright, let's get real cheeky here. Long diagonal cut. And welcome to easy root branchy thing solution. Damn, that is just simple. I was a little bit concerned that the quilting would stay in the paper towel, but it is really not. It's flattening out just fine. Yeah, twist. This one's a little too tiny. So if it's too tiny, let's braid it with one that's better. And then in that ugly space where they meet, just cover it with another little bit of tissue. Squish it wrinkly and flat. Paper towel is making much better wrinkles too. Okay. All right. Well, let's keep playing with this. This is skinning fluid, so it's been watered down. I'm going to take the last of my my non-watered down paste and dunk it in there to get a little bit more fluidity to my fluid. In fact, if anything, it's the opposite of fluidity. Let's keep playing. Let's grab a piece of yarn. Let's grab a big chunk of paper towel. I don't think this is going to be something I will do with any kind of regularity, but I'm just playing. Curious to see what's going to happen. I'm going to twist this piece of yarn into my paper towel goober. The reason for it being pure bulk. See if I can get a larger strand. Doesn't seem to be anything special. Let's braid it into this one. There we go. Yeah, bring it up. Smash it on. Throw some paper towel over it. I suppose the real test will be when it dries. Let's see what we've got. Let's get these a little bit more saturated. Okay. Play with some more. Hello, cats. You guys haven't been this copacetic in a long time. Shove these edges down more. Scooch them into the project. Well, if you wanted simple branches, well, that's an easy way to do it. Alright. Show me your face, goober face. However, this would be a time-consuming process. And to think, it all happened because I said I don't think I'll ever notice twists on a spooky bottle project. Nope, definitely no way I'd ever notice this. Junction point is going to need a masking. There we go. Let's see how it would look if you just masked one of these goobers in paper towel applique. So I'm going to cover one of these completely with this paper towel section and see how it comes out differently, if at all, to the other aspects. I know obviously there's going to be massive differences, but very curious as to the extent of the appearance of those differences. See how that comes out in final form. Let's also put a little bit side of his mouth. Give it a really righteous wrinkle. This is a decidedly micro-vein look. Very, very, very micro-vein look. Particularly after you just squidge the paper towel together. though this really benefits from a torn edge. Straight edges are very, very, very apparent. Sensing an add-on to the pumpkin series here. That is a hell of a texture. Jeebus. Let's try to get it closer without knocking everything over, screwing up work that I have done. There's the texture that this stuff is capable of producing, at least on the immediate scale. Really have to see how it comes out after the varnishing and painting. And now I am wondering about the effects of tissue paper. If this stuff performs like this, tissue paper's got to get you some really beautiful veiny yucks. Yikes! Thank you for not going into my drink. Huh. I'm just trying to cover up any transition lines between straight edges and the effect. Okay. That's a wonderful new discovery for me right there. Cool. Alright, this pumpkin is skinned. Experimental checks. All around. I like what I've got. I'm very curious to see the effects after some varnish is tossed on there, particularly in this spot. Let's do another experiment. think I'm going to double a piece up and try to put it on the back right here and see what we get. Let's see what we get with a doubled up piece, and let's crinkle first. Oh, just a lot of fold and squish in there. And the ancient problem of screwing around with projects is trying not to farkle up anything you've already done. That is going to need some paste backfill. Okay. Alright, I've got this filled in with tissue paper right there. I'm very curious to see what we get. And hey, if you don't like it, just pop it out. Should be fine. Something like this might do very well for if you wanted a translucent lit from within pumpkin, but you were worried about people looking inside, seeing newspaper or anything like that. You could very, very easily just throw a layer of that on there, and whatever light source you got on the inside would just haze out from there. Could be pretty cool. Little piece left here. Let's make a comparison. There's going to be a paper goober or a Scott towel goober next to a cotton goober. For later viewing. The cotton does have these nice holes in there, so I like how that goes. But we'll see how the branches, the backfill, and the rest work later on. Cool. Alright, I've been streaming for an hour and 28 minutes, and anything else I do tonight is just going to be varnishing, and the likelihood of it being getting people viewing after midnight is probably about as good as it was at around 4 a.m. So I'm going to kill the stream and catch you all probably tomorrow, because come hell or high water, chat or no chat, I'm really enjoying doing this and getting back into my projects. Tomorrow's probably going to be a little bit boring, because today was honestly quite a little bit boring. But I'm going to finish up varnishing that, hoping to varnish him, and then we'll... Why am I still talking? Have a good night. There we go. Okay, cats. Move! Dad's got to shut down the stream. Come on.